But I subscribe to this subreddit called Money, r/money. And it's basically people, it's a big subreddit and it's people complaining mostly. And there's a lot of it not complaining, but a lot of it is like, I see all these posts of people in college who are like, I'm now 20 grand in the hole because I was buying options on Robinhood and doing all this stuff on these apps where they trade. And in general, I am so against individual trading, even though I think you're right with Google. It ain't going anywhere. I buy ads on Google. It freaking works so good. But it's just, I refuse to go down this path. It's such a slippery slope that I don't want to get addicted to it. And I feel like I would. And you've won a few times. I know you've won a few times recently.
Oh, I'll tell you every time I win. Don't worry.
but have you lost a bunch?
Of course. Yeah, you can't trade without having bad trades, right? What is the number one rule for having a few good trades is have many trades.
That's insane that you're doing this, but you're not wrong with this.
I'm not doing it with a lot of money, and also it's an excuse to learn for me too. So I don't know. I think a lot of learning just comes from trial and error, and trying things when you build businesses is a really expensive, slow way to. It's the highest price way to learn, right? Because it takes a long time, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of focus. But there are things where you're like, all right, well, like very simple. I wanted to learn about AI, and so I pay this guy $500 an hour once a week to just teach me about AI. Yeah, and I wanted to be up to speed with what's going on. What are the new tools? What are the limitations? What are some of the bottlenecks? And so I in general, I have a very I want to have some fun in my life. B, I want to learn, and for me, the only way to learn is like. Andrew Wilkins said this once. He's like, I like to walk around with a fork, finding sockets to put my fork in. Basically, it's like, the only way he learns is by getting electrocuted. And I kind of feel I'm the same way. I hear things and I hear wisdom, but it never actually sinks in until I go and do something. And maybe the real learning here, by the way, is just don't trade individual stocks. You might actually be at the correct final answer. And so, I'm not saying that you're wrong about that. Philosophically, I agree with what you're saying, but I just carve out a small fun budget that I use to do this.
My partner, Joe, he trades individual stocks. And this week or last week, he was like, I'm screwed. I'm going back to indexing because he looked at all the money that I did a calculator. I go, show me what you had 15 years ago. Show me what you have today. Now I'm going to put it in this calculator. I'm going to show you what you would have had if you would have done this. And let's see and compare. And the index index investing was so much higher. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to switch. And so he makes the switch this week.
By the way, I did the same calculation, and it was 100% true for me too. That if I had just bought the index or just added a consistent amount to the index over time, that would have been perfect. But the funny thing is, it's not the thing in my analysis. I was like, okay, I went through every single trade. Again, how do you learn? You go back and reflect. So I went through every single trade, and I said, what story does this tell me? And I had thought the story would be my prediction going in was. You would have made a little more money if you had done the index, but whatever. Actually, I would have made a lot more money just doing the index. So that was learning one. Number two, learning was interesting, which was I thought I would find you're not as smart as you think, buddy. You buy this thing because you have all these reasons, but you're wrong. And in actuality, I think I only lost money buying in a very small number of stocks. I think it was like less than 5 stocks that what I bought it for versus what it currently is less, or even less than it would have been if I had just been in the index. Like it's pretty comparable returns. The two situations where I got it wrong were number one, during COVID, I bought some momentums. Like I just bought Zoom or something at some moment. I had bought Zoom early and it was working so well that I just bought more. That was stupid. I should have done that. But the second one was random tips from our friends. Friend says, "Oh man, I'm doing this." They're a smart friend. Yeah, they're a smart friend, and so I bought. So those are the only times that I bought and lost. All of my actual losses of where I made less than I would have in the market was just selling early, because I sold a bunch of things, and I sold a bunch of things. Some I sold early when they had a lot more room to run. Some I sold when I was, the market sentiment was down, or I was feeling fearful and I just wanted to move to cash, and I would just sell. And so I actually lost all of my losses were in the sell, not the buy, which was surprising to me.
I've been making fun of Joe because he's going on all in on indexing, and I'm like, great, you picked a really good month, all time highs, record highs. This is the best month ever. Decide to do it.